Radiate Life with Lorelei, and I'm doing a quick video here today. So I started another channel which is specifically called My Sedona Portal, and it's, my over 10-year connection with Sedona and earth healing, earth guardian, earth carekeeper, giver, my relationship with the beautiful minerals and crystals of the earth as well. So this is just a short intro into something I was doing, and I thought I would just, since I was doing an experiment, I would just share it with you. And so with my kids and with my clients, what I really ask them to do is to think of things as a hypothesis. So if you hear an idea about something and someone says, this is fact, this is the way it is, it's like internally set it to, oh, this is a hypothesis. This is something that could be true or not true, or it might be part of a greater puzzle. It might be a little puzzle piece. Oftentimes what happens is I will find something, and I'm like a researcher, is what I've figured out about myself, is really a researcher for health and healing and wellness, and it always has to start with us. So I was raised in a high control environment. I was raised by a narcissist. I had a lot of abuse, mentally, emotionally, physically, and so many different aspects of life. But nature was always in the background. Nature was always my great healer. My animals were my great healers. My friends were my great healers. And I played competitive soccer, and I trained really, really hard to do so. And I loved it. And I loved the camaraderie, and I loved the teamwork, and I loved supporting each other and making sure that everybody got a chance to participate, contribute, and be valued for that contribution as well. So hopefully that's a short intro into me. And so I just wanted to say that I have been doing some more research in teaching, putting together some information about muscle testing. Okay, I don't really want to say too much more. I see muscle testing and I think, oh my gosh, there's a very easy scientific process. So this first information here is called the Powers That Be, and it's a kit with dowsing. This one is with rods. This one is from my main teacher, and his name was Walt Woods. He was a pioneer, and you should look him up. And he has the letter to Robin for dowsing. So he was a time traveler, just an amazing person. He was like a grandfather teacher. He taught like the elders or the grandfathers would. Lots of experimentation, lots of invitation. So when I do muscle testing, I also do dowsing, because I really lean into dowsing. I was my second teacher in energetics refused to teach people how to muscle test because he felt mostly that people became dependent upon muscle testing. And so he just decided that he wasn't going to, quote unquote, allow it. And that's the kind of teacher that he was. And he's no longer with us. But while he was here, he did many wonderful things, had many great ideas. He planted many seeds, and whether those manifest or not, they do manifest in his students, and manifest in the ideas and the contribution he's made to the consciousness of healing and energy and movement, and his contribution to moving medicine from a pharmaceutical chemical aspect to a wholeness, a well-being, just a kind of like a natural growth from first aid. You think about basic first aid that we're taught. He felt like we should have basic first aid that we're able to apply to each other. And it was something that he developed. So it was developed from martial arts. He was a space engineer, and he was a master. And he went on to become a chiropractor. So many things, right? Amazing person. And then used all that information in order to take it further and build a bridge. So that's something, another thing that I've kind of incorporated and learned, and helps me see what's the similarities in different energetic techniques, what's the differences, what's the goal, and regarding wholeness, what may be missing, may or not be missing, what ingredient would go in here to make this whole and complete. Or if you're an alchemist, what would be the components that go into something in order to turn this into the alchemy of what we want, is another way of looking at it. So anyway, I'm wanting to continue to develop the Sedona portal, which I started this week, but this is an idea that has been percolating within me since 2012, when I went to Sedona for the first time, kicking and screaming, because we'd been vacationing on our spiritual retreat on the beach. I saved my vacation time to go with my spiritual family, and there were usually about 30 of us, and the only times we really got to get together was when we went on this retreat. It was a spiritual retreat. It was a transformative retreat, but it was in a setting of Kauai, Hawaii. Anyway, that stopped and we went to the desert, and I went, I ain't going to the desert. You're taking my beach away. I grew up in Southern California, and I was not having it. So it took me a couple of years to get on board, and it was like they weren't going back to the ocean, so I guess I would have to go meet them in the desert. And little did I know what an opportunity that would be for me, and it's always a great lesson for my kids and with my students. I say, give it a try before you completely dismiss it. And so that is something I remember. So I'm looking at the portal and kind of thinking that there is a teaching or something that I've been taught, that a direction to share with that. So I got all my books out. Some of that information, of course, is my own unique experience and my own journeys. I've gone back 10 times. There was a period of time that I didn't go back because I no longer was going on retreat with that particular group. But then my parents moved to an area very close, about half an hour outside of Sedona, in 2019. Though once again, it's only been in the last couple of years that I actually go back there during different equinoxes, and to visit and to do a personal spiritual retreat. All to say that Sedona just keeps coming back, and I have an earth grid that was gifted to me on my last fall excursion to Sedona. It's a healing grid, an actual healing grid with 12 double sided, it's actually like 4 in bonded clear quartz crystals that are activated with the grid, and that's a whole nother thing, but it's something that I'm working with, and for earth healing and self-healing. And so that's another little kind of a rabbit hole to go down. So in the light of that, I'm looking to say, well, let me use my tools. That's what they're there for. This is why we have tools, why we do muscle testing and dowsing and the L rods. I don't have a good video here today. So that's an L rod, right? They look like an L, depending upon which way you look at them. And so I learned how to use these last. I learned how to dowse, because we did projects with my teacher, and that was how she asked us to learn. She said, if you want to learn, you really have to do something worthwhile. So we cleared the prison systems in Chicago. We helped clear ley lines. We did a lot, anything you can do. Create sacred space, remove unwanted energies from a place. It's just so many things. And you just have to start at home. You have to start, and that's the first place, is that in order to continue on a path of awakening, you have to have your own experiences, because that is the most valuable thing. You have to be in touch with yourself, your nervous system, your thoughts, your emotions. It doesn't mean you're perfect. It just means that you're aware, and it means that you're connected. It means that you can make course corrections, and that you're 100% responsible for your energy, and any energy that is not your energy is not going to take you off your path. Even if it's a relationship, even if it's a boss, you still are as long as you allow yourself, a self-directed, unique individual capable of whatever it is you want. So then I have some other cards which represent another teaching. Perhaps I thought, well, maybe I'll teach with some cards that I have, because I really I'm a visual person, and I do enjoy cards. And then I have another one here which represents another something completely different to me. Again, that's a method. And then here's these books. So here's the two books. And I had, this really came forth because I've had Sun Bears books, and I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go over this because I was doing homeschool with one of my kids, and that's why I got the books and started incorporating this information into lessons. And I've been going through all my decluttering and getting ready to, move into a tiny home in the next couple of years. And so I have to really start that process now to make it joyful, right? To make it happy, so that I'll be grateful when I'm there. So anyway, so here's the 4 agreements, and then here's the 4 agreements companion book. And so I bought these two specifically for the homeschooling, but also to work with my parents and that have highly sensitive, or children that are like my children, or completely different. Okay, so I put that there. So then I thought, well, how should I do this? And I thought, well, I'm going to get out my dowsing rods, because that's something I haven't really been using. So I'm not going to show you the whole process of what I do. And I will say that, so I did go through this, and I did already do the dowsing rods earlier today. But since then, I also did another smudging and releasing ceremony of some important things for the earth. And so I thought, okay, I've done something to kind of clean my aura, clean my mind, to address something that had been on my heart for a while. So it feels good to do that. And then I was kind of low energy today. Building up to that, I felt kind of low, kind of tired, kind of not with it. But I continued to move forward and see what I could do. So I'm just going to go through here. I'm not really sure what the answer is going to be, but that's kind of what the experiment is about. So I have to kind of check and make sure that when I stand up, if you're still seeing. Okay, so it is maybe a little challenging to see the rods, but if I lean over, that's not going to be good either. Let's see if I feel. Okay, well, I'll do the best I can. So the first thing that I do is I say, bear with me, because I know I do this a little different. So part of it is communication. So the first thing I do is I do breathing. I clear myself and make sure I'm centered. I might meditate. I might go out and take a brisk walk and get some fresh air and get some water. So I'll ask the T-rods, show me no. I have to relax. Show me no. Show me no. And you have to be really clear. Like, you have to be, meaning A, clear in that you don't have blockages, and B, that you're not looking for confirmation of an answer that you have. So the first thing I do is I say, show me no. Show me no, and that would be like this, crossed. You can see that, they cross. I keep my eyes closed and I say, okay, show me yes. And I keep breathing until yes is a really nice, strong, straight in front of me, yes. And then I'll kind of move them, wiggle, get very focused about this, focusing now on what's in front of me. And that's where concentration comes in, and self-awareness. And I'll ask, may I douse or use the T-rods, or ask this question with accuracy? So it's yes. And I'll try it again and see if it'll say, now show me no. So the next thing I'm going to do, and you probably won't be able to see this, is I'm going to just go ahead and use I use this every day for taking readings. So this is just a clear quartz crystal, and this is a dowsing template from Walt Woods, and this is a training one from Walt Woods. So I'll use this, and you won't be able to see this, but I'll just walk through it and we'll see what happens. So I'll do this with the dowsing tool. So the dowsing tool, so it goes straight up and down, it says yes, and then I'll ask it, okay, show me ready for question. So ready for question is if you had a clock in front of you, it would be going at let's say about 1 p.m. Okay, ready for question, okay? And then go back to yes, ready for question. And then now I'm looking for a yes and a no. So my yes is this swing here. And my no, ask it no. And I'm not moving, I'm just holding it straight. Is it straight? It's going around in a circle. So I have communicated and trained, so to speak, the interaction I have between my nervous system and this crystal. And my no is a circle. Okay, a controlled circle. Some people, a no is this. Again, when I first was trained, no was back and forth, and yes is up and down. Like horizontal or vertical and horizontal, right? So maybe that was the easiest, but I found that as I practiced it more and more, as I worked on projects, clearing different projects, tuning into different things in the world, that I really found this no in a circle worked really well for me. It was very accurate. So again, ready for question. And I wait. Okay. So now I'm going to find which one of these is going to be the most beneficial, meaning accurate, foundational, opening point for the people who would be interested in this information. Okay, and I know very well which one of these, each one of these are. So I'm going to, let's say if I had a body here, and either this books or a body, so I'm just going to run it along. So I know this is the dowsing with Walt. I know this is the 4 agreements. I know these are 5 books, and that's Sun Bear. I know this one over here is a card, and it represents some information. So at this point, a circle is energy. It's just showing me, of all the things I just went over, this one is the most active, which is pretty interesting. Okay, I'm not doing anything to move it to do anything. And then how about this one? What's the energetic? So that's pretty easy, right? So I'll just go over here. Is it this book? Is it this one? This one? This one? This one? This one? How about this one? Okay, so it's not any of those. And then let's just go back over here and see what it says. Okay, so that one's definitely, that's the one that I should go with. And what's interesting about this is a dear friend of mine regifted this to me. Regifted this to me. It was a deck of cards she got. It was an artist made in Sedona. These are of parts of Sedona, beautiful, like Bell Rock and Cathedral and Mountain and just everything. Montezuma as well. And the nature spirits, the wind, the water, and the javelinas. And it also came with some dirt from Sedona. And it also has the vortex, like the vortexes of Sedona. So yesterday, I took my map of Sedona, put it on my wall, and I also put a couple other significant areas in Sedona that I go to all the time, pictures I took there, and put them on my wall. And then I just look at all Sedona and I think in my mind all the different connections I've had. So I will start with this then for the Sedona portal. And it will give you, what I like about this too is it will give you your own, one of the things I want to do is I want to just go along and share with you the process that I've made over the years of how to make my own deck of cards. Whether that's for daily healing for myself, healing for the family, community, just inspiration. But you're most connected to the cards when they're pictures and ideas and sayings and quotes that you wrote, and a way to connect into your own inspiration and intuition. So, thanks for coming along with me on that ride. I appreciate it.